Hey everybody, boy do I have something really cool to review today. This is the Hinglong German Tiger 1 tank. It's a 1/18 scale RC tank. I've always wanted to review a tank. In fact, I've always wanted a tank since as long as I can remember. I've been in RC for 30 years, and the Tamiya tanks are always the coolest tanks and the only ones I ever knew about, but they cost like, $800 to $1,000 now, and they were probably $500 to $600 back then. And I was out of my budget as a kid, and when I saw this tank, I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. And I'm actually really amazed by how good this tank is and how much this tank does at a fraction of the cost of like one of the Tamiya tanks. It does an awful lot of stuff, and it is really cool. This might be the coolest RC product I've reviewed, at least in terms of ground vehicles. I absolutely love this. It's by Hinglong, like I said. It says they've been around since 1986, so you can see in the instructions that this tank used to be on nickel cadmium. It used to be on the older technology. The battery uses the old Tamiya type connectors, even though it's a lithium ion. So they've upgraded this tank over the years, but as far as I can tell, this tank has been around a while. This tank has quite a bit of detail. Now, it may not be the level, like I said, Tamiya tank, but for the price, this tank has a lot of really neat stuff we're going to go over here as quickly as we can. It's got, the decals here that I put on it, and I'll try to get a little bit closer here. There's a bit of a light glare, but I put the decals on it. But it has a lot of accessories besides that you put on in terms of the German soldier up here on top. I don't know if you're going to see it or not, but there's a little set of headphones he's got. If I can turn the tank on its side here, we'll be able to see that it's got these like cables that the tank would have on each side. I'm not exactly sure what those are used for. It's got this metal antenna, which I think it's supposed to look like the antenna or radio communication. Though I've seen in a picture where they had a German flag on it, but they did not include that in the kit. It's got these flaps in the back behind the tracks. It's got a shovel and a pick here in the front. Just all kinds of little accessories and cool little things they had to make it look more authentic. It does have two lights, or spotlights, that are white LEDs here on the front. It's got this machine gun when you attach the machine gun itself to it, and this does light up red as you do the machine gun sound to fire it. So just really cool in terms of the realism and the level of detail for a tank of this cost. And this is a big tank, 1/18 scale, but it's the size of a 1/10 scale truck, because a 1/18 scale of a tank, of course, is going to be bigger. Let's go over some of the other features, though. It does have, like I said, a machine gun sound, but this actual gun on top here, this turret does move left and right. The gun moves up and down, but probably one of the coolest features this tank has is this gun actually shoots. And it shoots these little yellow BBs, I guess you could say. And I'll show you what they look like. It comes in this pack, and it gives you 2 packets of them. I've already opened up one, and I'm using that one in there now. And it comes with a bunch of these little soft pellet BBs. They're just little plastic BBs, but boy, does it pack a punch. This thing fires awfully hard, so you do want to be careful. You don't want to shoot at people. You should probably wear protective eye gear for sure if you're going to be shooting it where it could possibly hit a person, because it will tend to ricochet. But these pack a wallop. And when you do fire the cannon on this, or the gun, it will recoil. The tank will move backwards, and then as it shoots, just like a real recoil on a tank in the real world. So it has that realism to it. Just little things like that, it makes this tank really cool. But the thing that might be the neatest in terms of realism, it's a debate between the gun and these motors on the back. If they turn it around here, it's going to be a little hard to see at this angle, but these 2 rear engines give off exhaust smoke. And there's little spots where you refill this oil you put in here that it probably like a model train would use. It has a fan you kicks on, and it probably has a little heating element, I believe, but I'm not positive on how it works. And the smoke will come out of here like exhaust. And doing that is just so cool. It is so cool. So even though the gun might be the most fun, the realism factor of this exhaust comes out of here is really neat. And you'll see this in my review now. It did not come with any refill oil, so I thought, oh great. the tank's not going to put out smoke. Darn. It actually comes with oil in here. Now, I don't know how long that'll last, but when I pressed the smoke button, it started smoking. I was like, oh, I was so ecstatic because it was getting off that smoke. And I've not used it a ton. I did use it in my drive review, but I've not run out of it yet. Now, thankfully, I did find a refill, authentic Hinglong model parts oil on eBay here in the United States for only $8 for this bottle. And this will last a long time. So if I remember, I'll try to put a link to that eBay product. If you choose to buy this tank from GearBest, you could easily pick up some of this oil from eBay, and $8 isn't going to break the bank. So that's a cheap option and give you plenty of refill so you can use that smoke for a long time. Because I think the amount of oil you put in is supposed to last about, I thought it said about 2 hours of smoke you can put out. So that's a long time. The battery that it comes with, I said, it looks a lot like the old nickel cadmium Tamiya type batteries from back in the 80s. It comes with a Tamiya connector on the end, but it also comes with a balance plug because this is a lithium ion. This is a 7.4 volts, so 2S, 2 cell, 1800 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. Now the instruction manual, because a lot of it was written for when this was a nickel cadmium powered tank, you know, they have included an upgraded manual for the 2.4 gigahertz because it used to use the crystals and the you know, not the newer 2.4 gigahertz technology. The instruction manual mentions like a drive time of 20 minutes, but that's not for the lithium ion. For this, I would think you could at least get a half an hour, depending on how you drive it, how much you shoot it, you use the sound effects and all that, because I haven't touched on the sound effects yet. So a nice battery, it fits into the compartment well, and it gives you a very long time, and the tank moves along pretty quickly. It does have a speaker here in the rear. It's located right up here, and this gives off a lot of different sound effects. It's got the engine sound as it runs, so combine that with the smoke, it's just so realistic. It does the machine gun sound. You can't even change the sound from the Tiger tank that this is to a German Leopard tank, though I prefer the sound of the German tank. But you can switch the sound of which tank the speakers are putting out. But it has, when you press the button to start it up, it'll make a start up sound. You can press the button to actually sound like you're turning the tank off, and it will fire the motors down. As you come to a stop, the motors will also become quieter, and as you get full speed, they'll really rev up. So the tank sounds incredibly realistic. Like I said, the BBs that go up here in front of the guy, you just tape this guy in here with double-sided tape, and that refills inside of the turret here and allows you to shoot the bullets. The charger that it comes with is a very, very standard wall charger, nothing special. It does charge off the balance plug, and it takes about 2 hours to charge up the battery, so not terrible, especially considering the amount of run time that you get. It comes with this accessory box, really nice. So, you know, I like the way they box this stuff. Very detailed. This is where all those components that I put on here, most all of them are inside of this box, except for like these cables and a few things. Now the instructions are not the greatest, they're not terrible, but they're not Tamiya level instructions, but who is really. But they tell you where to put most of the accessories on here. There's a few things they don't. I found by going to the Hinglong website, you can actually view this tank. They have some pictures of it fully assembled, and it will help you find a few things like these little pieces that go inside the front wheel, inside the turret here, or the tracks, I mean. I didn't know where those went originally. That's pretty common sense. They pop in here. There are just a few things they don't tell you. Like they don't tell you to put the machine gun on, which should be common sense. Just a few things that I was unsure about. These little like hooks go on the front and the back here. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. That was something I had to see in the picture and figured out where those go, because I didn't realize exactly what those were at the time I was putting it together. Let's see here. It comes with a cutout of another tank that sits up like this that you can shoot at, which is kind of neat. And in the drive review, I do shoot at this a lot, and I finally do hit it, surprisingly enough. I didn't think I would be able to hit this because the accuracy of the gun is kind of hard to get it aimed, because at one time it'll shoot really close and you adjust it a little bit and then it can be way off the next time, which isn't unexpected for a toy. The controller is pretty cute, pretty nice. You know, it's a, like I said, 2.4 gigahertz. They've upgraded that. It's not high-end hobby grade, but it's not junk. You know, it gets the job done. It does not use standard, you know, tank controls. So to move the track, you don't have individual control of the tracks. It's not, you know, both forward, both back. And that's because they need all these channels for the different functions. So all of your tank controls are on your right stick here, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Only main thing I get to gripe about is it tends to turn really quick. The whole tank does, which is partially, you know, from having, you know, the track controls all on one stick. But it turns too quickly at times, quicker than a real tank would, and that might be about the only gripe I have. You can turn it slow, but it's just easy to turn it to, you know, really quick without the full tank controls. So this is your forward, back, and then this turn the tank right and turn the tank left, all with the right stick. The left stick, this is a raise your gun up, you know, and then, you know, raise it up. This is to lower the gun down. It doesn't go up or down a whole lot, and you'll hear it kind of crack, make a sound as it gets too far. And this is left and right to move the whole gun turret. It'll do almost 360, but it'll stop. You can't keep spinning it all the way around. Of course, these are your trim buttons, and I did need to trim it some, as you can see here, so that it would go more in a straight line as I was driving it. On the top here, you've got your machine gun sound, and that does the, you know, the machine gun sound here in the front and makes the red light blink. Now to fire the big main gun, you don't just press this button, because that's obviously a good reason, because that's a good safety feature. So you have to press up for the gun and then press it, and you'll hear it kind of load, and then bam, it'll shoot, and the tank will recoil. And when you do that, of course, at first the gun's going to want to kind of raise a little, so you may have to adjust it back down, because it will kind of raise a little before it fires. So it's just part of the safety mechanism, but it makes it a little bit harder to aim. On the bottom here, you've got some buttons here. This one here is the one that starts it up. As soon as you turn on the tank, turn on the controller, then this will actually fire it up. It'll make the engine sound, the white LEDs come on, and it is making this tank sound and ready to go. You've got about 4 or 5, I forget how many volume settings. You can get it really loud, and then you can completely turn off the volume to the tank. Indoors, the lowest setting should be fine. If you want to get it outdoors and really get it loud so everybody can hear it, you can turn it up quite a bit. But you know, sometimes I would turn it off indoors just because it can be a little bit overbearing at times, but it's such a cool sound, I usually run with it on. The next one over here is your smoke. Simple enough, you press it, the fans kick on, the smoke starts coming out for the exhaust. Press it again and it turns the fans off and stops it. If you don't have a refill, you probably don't want to use the smoke a whole lot, since you don't want to use it up. On the bottom here is just to switch some sounds. One of them does the machine gun sound again for some reason. And if you press both of them, that's how I've been able to get it to switch to the Leopard tank. And just pressing the K, I think is what it says in instructions, doesn't want to switch it. So it'll fire the machine gun, and when you press it, it makes a machine gun sound, you let up, and then it switches over to that Leopard tank. So I think that pretty much covers all the controls there on the tank. So there's a lot of stuff to cover, but like I said, I'm really impressed with the level of detail. I'll just quickly show you the box. It's gonna be hard to get this all in view, but on the back of this, it's got a really nice diagram with all the parts of the tank and all the little label for all the parts of the tank. Very well done for a Chinese product displaying a German tank. So it's just got all kinds of stuff, and you can even upgrade accessories. You can upgrade the metal gears, the alloy. You can even upgrade the tracks on the tank. You can buy tracks from Henglong, you move these from plastic up to metal, which makes it look really realistic and really cool. Not going to really make any difference in performance, just going to make it look more realistic. So I think I covered everything. I said there is a lot to cover with this tank, and I don't want to make this review too long, so I believe that's everything. I covered a lot of it in the driver view too, if I missed anything here. So let's move along now to the driver view so we can see the smoke and shooting of the gun and all that cool stuff. So stay tuned. All right, back with the driver view of the Henglong Toys German Tiger 1 tank. Really cool tank. One one of the neatest RC products that I've had a chance to review. I've got my Firefly Q6 mini action camera here mounted to the top of the gun turret here. So I'm going to record some kind of first person view of the soldier here driving the tank as we go around. So I'll demonstrate the machine gun effects, the smoke effect, and then firing the actual gun. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and put it down on the ground. So it's kind of a bulky thing. It's big, which is really cool. I'm glad that it's big. Turn it on here on the bottom. Go ahead and set it down on the ground. Turn on my controller. Once you do that, you're going to press this lock button, which actually starts it up, and you'll hear the really cool sound. And we can turn the sound up even higher, and that's the highest volume right there, and then off. So we will go to the kind of a medium sound, so I can talk over it. I'm going to go ahead and start recording with the Firefly cam, so let me go ahead and boot it up. In the meantime here, I'm going to start the smoke. You can hear the fans kick on, hopefully. I don't know if this is going to show up or not, but you can see the smoke coming out of the fans. Now, they don't give you refills on the smoke, but I found it for like $8 on eBay. So, ton of extra smoke, supposed to last several hours on, just a few drops. So, really neat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start recording with the camera. And it should be recording now. So I'm going to leave the smoke on for a little while here. And we'll go ahead and start driving it. It's a little bit quick to turn. That's probably one of the few cons that I have with this. It's just kind of hard to do a really slow turn. Because you're driving with just your right stick, you can do it. It's just easy to turn really quick like that. Like that. See, it kind of really spins in a circle, which the German Tiger 1 tank's not going to... wasn't able to turn around that quick. I'm going to bring it up here and we'll fire the sound effect gun, which will have a red LED that will flash there through the gun in the front above that shovel. Hopefully that is showing up. Back it up here. Now I'm going to move the turret. It will go almost 360 degrees around, but it will stop. You can't do a complete rotation. You can also switch the sound effect. I'll do that real quick. Just to a German Leopard tank. Now that can you tell the difference there? Hopefully, the sound. I kind of like the authentic sound for the Tiger tank. There, it switched back. I'm going to drive it through the grass a little bit, and then we'll bring it back here and try to shoot at this more modern, this tank here. It's just a piece of cardboard cutout they give you. You can shoot at. The tank does tend to shoot kind of high, so that's why I got it on the back of our van. It just sounds really cool. It has a lot of power. You can easily drive it over your foot or a rock. It's got those front white LEDs that are lit up for spotlights to see in the dark. And that's full speed there. You can really hear the extra sound as it kicks in for the highest speed. It's got that one speaker located in the top rear that really is a pretty loud sound effect. When you're in the house, you almost sometimes turn the sound off because it can get a little bit overwhelming, even on the lowest setting. Like I said, I've got it, I think, second to lowest sound here, just so you can hear it outdoors, but I want to be able to talk over it. Those LEDs showing up really good for me here. Hopefully it's on the camera too. You can raise and lower the gun. My show you that. You do that with the left stick. There's all the way up, and that's all the way down. You'll know when you hear it trying to go too far like that. It's all the way down, and that's all the way up. I'm moving it to the side now. Let's take it over here and try to see if we can shoot that tank. I doubt we're going to be able to, but it's still really cool. There's a recoil effect the tank does, just like an authentic tank from the recoil of the gun, and it does that. So it's really cool. We'll try to do a straight on shot here, and then maybe we'll try to do some with the gun off to the side. So to shoot the gun, you have to press up on the left stick, which starts to raise the gun, and then this top right silver button. That's kind of a safety feature so you don't accidentally shoot it, because it shoots those soft yellow BBs, but boy, it does pack a punch. I got shot in the finger and it stings a little, so you do not want to shoot this towards people. You definitely could cause an eye injury, so you don't want to shoot it at anybody. So let's go ahead and give it a shot here. I'm going to stand behind it, and let's just see where this goes. Whoa, that was pretty close. I'm just going to move the cannon over a tad. Let's try it again. Oh, that was off to the left. All right, I mean. Off to the right. The recoil kind of can throw it off, but also you almost want to lower the cannon down some, because as you're pushing up, before it shoots, it starts to raise the cannon, and then that can, of course, put your aim off. That was kind of low. Don't want to go through all these BBs. They gave you quite a few of those BBs. That was close. Let's try it one more time. I don't want to go through too many though. You can definitely reuse these. I can see quite a few of them rolling around here. I'll hold one up to the camera, though you already saw what they look like, but little yellow BBs, little plastic things. You just drop them in here in front of the guy, and that refills it. And they gave you 2 packs of them. I don't know how many it is. It's got to be at least 100, I'd say. So you got quite a few of these. So you can shoot it and refill them if you find them. So you don't have to. You're not gonna have to worry about shooting it and then it's done. You can reuse the bullets. So try shooting one more time here. But I said, trying to shoot something like that is pretty hard. It's gonna take a lot of trial and error. That was really close. Trying to catch the BB. See, and one time you'll be really close, and then the next time you'll be, oh, nailed it! There we go. All right, very cool. Blew up the other tank. Very neat. So you can get it. Just take the little trial and error, and sometimes even if you adjust it a little bit, the next shot can be way off, just how the BB comes out or how much the gun is raised. So let's just do a little bit more driving around here before we end this review. Kind of move the gun around so you can see how that works as you're driving, just like a real tank would. Let's just go ahead and shoot it one more time out this way. You know, I really like that recoil. It's so cool. Let's go ahead and do it again. You can see how it just kicks back. It makes the drive gears go and the motor in reverse slightly, just very quick to give it that authentic recoil of the tank. Very cool. It comes with a decent amount of accessories that you put onto the tank to make it look authentic. I was impressed by that for the price. A few things you have to figure out on your own. If you go to the Hinlong website, you can see some fully assembled ones, because instructions don't tell you how to put everything on it that comes with it. But it was pretty easy to figure out, especially using that pictures as a reference. for it. But I think for the price, you know, somewhere in the $100 range, $110, it is a really cool tank. Big and powerful. It runs a long time. You know, it's advertised for 20 minutes. I think you can run quite a bit longer than that. I think that is probably the nickel cadmium. This tank's been around a while, and it used the used to use the old nickel cadmium Tamiya connector packs. The lithium ion there still uses a Tamiya connector, but I think you could probably easily get a half an hour. It just depends on how you drive it, like any ground vehicle. You can see the smoke pouring off. At least I can. Hopefully it shows up on camera. And I like how it stops down, you know, that brings the sound down to the motors as you stop. But just a really neat tank. A lot of fun. The authentic smoke. I mean, for this price, it's not a Tamiya tank, but considering it's about 1/10 of the cost, I mean, wow. It does a lot. You can even buy metal tracks to replace those plastic ones to make it even look more authentic. So they have a lot of cool options for this tank. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. That should stop, hopefully. And I'm going to show you how you can go, if you press this lock button, you can actually turn the engines down like you're turning it off, which is a cool effect. And then go ahead and turn off the smoke. Just kind of did it kind of the reverse order. We'll start it back up and I'll show you without the smoke going. That's how you start it up. I'll turn the smoke off. Oh, I was hitting the volume button. There, now the smoke's turned off. And there's the engine firing down. Very cool. Alright, well, I think that wraps up the tank review. Really cool, really cool. So, appreciate you for watching and stay tuned for more reviews.